We're live in Joliet ATI Physical Therapy Field here at Joliet Memorial Stadium, and about 20 minutes into today's CCAC regular season finale for St. Francis. They take on St. Ambrose University in today's soccer match. It's 1-0. St. Ambrose has just claimed the lead. So we try to work through our technical difficulties here. St. Ambrose making a run into the box once again, trying to make it 2 in a row. They scored their first goal off a header just moments ago in the 22nd minute of today's contest. The goal scored by St. Ambrose's Rory Hannon, junior forward from New Zealand, and now St. Ambrose gets another corner kick, and they've held the ball in this part of the field for the good majority of the last 10 to 15 minutes or so, as they have consistently put some pressure on St. Francis's defense, and the Saints defense steps up there and knocks it out of bounds. So we're going to see another corner kick for St. Ambrose, and they've had a bevy of these over the last few minutes. Bees come into today's game having struggled. They've lost 2 of their last 3 games by at least 3 goals. So this one is sent in front of the net, headed away. 2-9 on the season for St. Ambrose, but the record is a little bit misleading. 7 of their 9 losses have come by 1 goal. So I mentioned 2 of the last 3 have been blowouts, but those are the only 2 blowouts of the season. Other than that, they've been in everything that they've played. And St. Francis has played well of late, but they're not a team that typically runs away and hides from teams. So you'd expect this one to be close, and it has been so far as the Saints make a run here down into the box. Santos Contreras tries to cross it in front of the net. There's a shot, and they just miss tying the score up as McKenzie pushes it off wide to the right, just to the right of the net. That was the best scoring chance of the game for St. Francis, and it comes just 2 minutes after St. Ambrose scored their first goal and the first goal of the game. It remains 1-0 in favor of the Bees. Goal kick for St. Ambrose here. Over the last few minutes, I mentioned that St. Ambrose has kept the ball on their attacking side of the field primarily. What we just saw from St. Francis, that's been their offensive attack during most of this first half, whereas St. Ambrose has controlled long possessions, trying to get multiple chances each time they've had the ball down on that side of the field. St. Francis has kind of been one and done. Quick strikes, that's what they've been looking for. And they had a quick strike right there. Santos Contreras, long run, good setup for McKenzie, just couldn't quite finish. There's a header back into the box, and Carlos Ferrer-Cotto is there to make the save off the header. Here come the Fighting Saints. Losing the ball around midfield, taken back the other way. Mitchell Petrosky for St. Ambrose. Loses it out of bounds, knocked away by St. Francis. The Fighting Saints, of course, in white and going from left to right here in the first half. St. Ambrose in navy blue and going from right to left for the next 21.5 minutes. That's how much time remains in the first half of play. Tossed in along the far sideline by the Bees. Controlled by Daniel Reynoso. Taken away by the Saints at midfield. Trying to control possession. Can't do it. St. Ambrose keeps it on the defensive end. Here's Jakub Alivek off to the right side. Santos Contreras can't quite reach it. Good sliding takeaway, as it's knocked out of bounds by St. Ambrose. Jose Anchundia on the defense that time, preventing the run and allowing the defense to get back even as St. Francis gets the throw in. Blake Beery on defense is called for the foul. Beery getting tangled up with a couple of Saints, and St. Francis will have a free kick here from just over 20 yards out to the right of the net, and a good opportunity here as they look to tie the score at 1. Ball is set up just outside the box. And it's Sergio Perez who will take the kick. Perez gets the go-ahead. He rolls it out in front of the net, and it's deflected away by St. Ambrose, staying in bounds down into the corner. Contreras tracks it down, and Contreras tips it off of Anchundia out of bounds. So the throw in from the corner for the Fighting Saints. Trailing 1-0 with just under 20 minutes to play in the first half. Contreras Tosses it in at the edge of the box. McKenzie pushes it back to the defensive end. There's a shot from long distance and a diving save made. Nice save off the shot from Perez. And the Saints had a couple of good opportunities there. Not quite able to finish them off. So the punt is away across midfield. St. Ambrose takes it back to their attacking side. At midfield, the ball up for grabs and taken by the St. Ambrose defense. Headed down onto the defensive line of the Fighting Saints. They're able to get the clearance right there. Mitchell Petrosky tries to control it for the Bees, pushing it down the far sideline. Tracked down along that sideline by the Saints and pushed out of bounds. So St. Ambrose moves their team back up the field so they can set up an offensive attack here with the throw-in. Just about 20 yards off the net. Tossed in front of the net. Headed up in the air and out of bounds. Nathan Lubasic tries for the goal on the header, but wide to the right and a little bit high and out for a goal kick. Set up by Carlos Ferrer-Cotto to push it away. One nothing St. Ambrose leads. A goal from Rory Hannon off a header just about 6 minutes ago. Sent in deep for Contreras. Contreras tracks it down at the edge of the box. Working on Anchundia, gets it to the back line and deflects it off the defender, but he was the last one to touch it. Nice deflection there by Anchundia as he was able to get it off of Contreras. Contreras tried to set up a corner kick, but instead the ball skimmed back past him, and since he was the last one to touch it, it is a goal kick for Piercarlo Ricosa. Ricosa's made a couple of nice saves in this first half, most notably just a couple of minutes ago. The Saints have started to put the pressure on a little bit more seriously since falling behind by a score. Contreras along the sideline. Tap back to Leonardo Harrow. This is Isaac Avalos. All the way to the left side, his pass comes up short, taken quickly the other way. On a run inside the box. Here's a shot from Hannon and a nice save by Carlos Ferrer-Cotto. Excuse me, it was Daniel Reynoso on the shot. And a good run. It was one-on-one Reynoso against Carlos Ferrer-Cotto. And St. Francis' senior goalkeeper was able to deflect it away. Played perfectly in the net. It is still a corner kick for St. Ambrose, but that was a close call. Very nearly doubled the score. Just under 17 minutes to play in the first half. Reynoso, who took that last shot, now sets it up in the corner. Ball goes in towards the back post, overshoots everybody, loose in front of the net and cleared by the St. Francis defense.
All right, let me get it some way, somehow.
Chipped forward by St. Ambrose. Saints take it back. McKenzie ahead looking for Miziet and can't quite find him. Out of bounds. And we've got a throw in here for St. Ambrose. Tossed in right along the sideline. Justin Tackett tried to control it, pushed away from behind out of bounds. Another throw-in coming up. Headed back there by Spencer Pyle. Again, the Saints defense stands tall. Able to get the takeaway. Just shy of midfield. It's McKenzie pushing it back to Carlos Ferrer-Cotto. Ferrer-Cotto controls it up at the front of the box, and he allows his team to get downfield a little bit. Here come the Bees once again on the attack. Along the near side, it's Justin Tackett. Tackett down towards the corner. Well defended all the way. Tackett tries to turn it back towards the middle of the field, and he can't get it there. Good defense all the way there. That's Fabian Alvarado. And Alvarado forced it out, so a throw in here for St. Ambrose, tossed in by Justin Tackett. Fires out in front of the net. It's headed by the Saints and back into the hands of their goalkeeper. So another stop made by Carlos Ferrer-Cotto with just under 15 minutes to play in the half. Rolls back to Ferrer-Cotto again. The gray-shirted goalkeeper rolls it out. Here's Harrow. Ahead for Alvarado. Fabian Alvarado tries to keep it in bounds and can't. Lost it out. Second straight home game for St. Francis today. They beat Calumet St. Joseph 4-0 on Saturday evening. That was a game they led 4-0 at halftime. And then in the second half, didn't have to do all that much. They pulled most of their starters, played the reserves in the second half, and were able to cruise to that victory. Today, locked up in a little bit more of a close fight against the St. Ambrose team that, as I mentioned before, has not had a sterling record this year, but not because they haven't consistently played well. Never easy to beat this team, as they have lost 7 of their 9 games by 1 goal, including at one point 4 consecutive overtime defeats. Reynoso is whistled for the foul. So we're going the other way. St. Francis gets the free kick. February 27th through March 10th, 4 straight overtime losses for St. Ambrose, which is just amazing. To go 4 straight overtime games and not even get a draw out of any of them. I mean, you could try to do that and probably not succeed every time. Off toward Santos Contreras and headed out of bounds by Jose Anchundia. Fighting Saints will get a throw in from deep into the St. Ambrose zone. Fabian Alvarado steps up from the back line to toss it in. Alvarado takes the head start, fires it in front of the net, headed back towards Yakovalivic, who takes the shot, and it's deflected. Morgan McKenzie gears up for the shot. His goes wide to the left. So 2 chances there for the Fighting Saints. Contreras is deflected, didn't get it more than a foot in front of him. McKenzie tried to take the shot, and McKenzie was off to the left. Second time today McKenzie has had, I wouldn't call it an open look, but at least a path between himself and the net, and just missed it a little bit wide. So hasn't taken the shots that he's wanted today, but he's built up his own opportunities. So we'll just work on finishing going forward. With 12 minutes to play in the first half, Saints would love to tie it up before break. Tossed into the box and tipped back towards Ferrer-Cotto. Carlos Ferrer-Cotto plays it short out to Leonardo Harrow, who boots it across midfield. Morgan McKenzie is taken to the ground, and a foul is called on St. Ambrose as a result. Sergio Perez sets up behind the ball. Perez is going to take the free kick here. This one about 40 yards out to the right. Perez takes the start and sends it in towards the back post and overshoots everybody, including the net. Ball goes out of bounds. And we've got a throw in, a goal kick coming up here for St. Ambrose. Saints make a substitution here as Diego Cortez checks in. Freshman Isaac Avalos checks out. Cortez is a freshman as well. Dan Cross has got a lot of young talent. He's going to lose some very good seniors off of this team this year, but a lot of young talent coming in, getting ready to contribute next year as well. The win for the Saints today would guarantee them a top 5 finish in the regular season in the CCAC. Not playing their final regular season game, which was set for Saturday originally. So today's the end for the Fighting Saints until the conference tournament. It's the last regular season game, and conference tournament plans are to be determined. Whistle blows. There's a man down on St. Ambrose back on the defensive end. Foul's called on the Fighting Saints. I didn't see where it occurred, but did see Chundia and Jacob Mulvihill both working to get themselves up on the defensive side for St. Ambrose. There was some contact somewhere as Mulvihill takes the free kick. Harrow sends it right back the other way. Contreras heads it up in the air to Mizyed. Mizyed's ball sent ahead is intercepted. Nice defensive stop there by Nathan Lukasik. Just about 9:20 to go. First half. 1-0 St. Ambrose leads. They scored just shy of halfway through the first half on a header from Daniel Reynoso. Check that. A header from Rory Hannon. Hannon number 19, Reynoso number 9. For some reason, that number 1 keeps eluding me. There's Tackett trying to chase this ball down, and Alvarado gets there first, but Tackett takes it away. Back to Achundia. He's hassled by Alvarado, and he has to pass it behind him. Mulvihill downfield, headed back by Stefan Yakovalic. This is Santos Contreras. Contreras trying to get Amin Mizyed downfield. Mizyed has it in the box. Mizyed looking for that cross, and it wasn't there for him. Diego Cortez came in to help out, and Mizyed sent it a little bit too far out in front of Cortez. They're not able to get a shot off on that chance. Tossed in by Lukasik. And deflected out of bounds. The sun has mostly set here. The lights in full effect at Joliet Memorial Stadium. Beautiful evening in Joliet. Temperature was up at 80 degrees during the peak of the day. I don't have a reading in front of me right now, but I would guess probably low 70s at this point. Still just perfect conditions as the ball goes out of bounds, and we're going to get a goal kick. Actually, maybe even a little bit warmer than the players would prefer. Interestingly enough, when the typical fall schedule is moved into the winter and spring, you'd think you'd avoid games like this. Usually you get these early in the season, these warm summer days when the season begins late August into early September. By the end of the year, it's freezing. It's been the opposite this year. I think everybody will take this over the way it was out here a couple of weeks ago when it was 30 degrees. They were playing soccer. Field had to be cleared of snow earlier this season, and now here we are today. On a 70-plus degree evening. Just a beautiful night for the final regular season home game for the Fighting Saints. As to whether or not they'll get any more home games, period, we don't know. Depends on what happens in the rest of the CCAC. Deflected out of bounds by St. Ambrose. Throw-in coming up for the Fighting Saints here. It's Fabian Alvarado tossing into Amin Mizyed. One touch off to Santos Contreras. And Contreras is tackled off the ball. That's Achundia knocking it out of bounds for a throw-in. 6:24 showing on the clock as it continues to run. Thrown into Mizyed. Backing towards the net. Now he rolls to the back line and kicks it out of bounds. Trying to get that one off of Mulvihill and set up a corner kick, but he couldn't do it. So Mizyed, the last one to touch it before it goes out. And we've got a goal kick coming up here for the Fighting Bees. Headed forward to Mizyed. Mizyed looks to his right. Controls it with the dribble. Passes off to Morgan McKenzie. McKenzie ahead to Santos Contreras. Contreras works his way back to the middle. Giving up behind him to Fabian Alvarado. And as Alvarado steps up to take a shot, a whistle blows. And we've got a free kick coming St. Francis' way. The foul before Alvarado ever even touched that ball. So the free kick is coming up for Sergio Perez. A very similar spot to where St. Francis had a free kick earlier. Just outside the box, about 3 yards back, and a little bit over towards the right sideline. This one a little further towards the sideline than the previous one was, but other than that, a very similar spot. Perez takes this one on goal, and it's saved by Ricosa. So last time he was getting the free kick from that same general vicinity. Perez set up a teammate. This time he goes at it all on his own. And a little bit off to the right as Ricosa comes in to make the save. Here's Achundia. And Chundia tackled off the ball. And Sergio Perez takes it for the Fighting Saints. To the left, Cortez passed forward and cleared by St. Ambrose. Fighting Saints get it back. They restart the attack. A little bit of contact. There's a whistle. And the foul is called on the Fighting Bees. That means another free kick for the Fighting Saints. It's just a little bit further out than their previous kick and on the opposite end of the field. Perez gives way to Stefan Jakovalivek, and the senior Jakovalivek will take this free kick instead. Here it comes in front of the net, headed away, right back to Sergio Perez. Perez takes a long-range shot, and it bounces over the net and punched over by the goalkeeper Ricosa. So a good-looking shot from Sergio Perez there. He was a long way out. He was not likely to score from that distance. But by bouncing it in front of the net, he forced Ricosa to tip it over the crossbar, which means we get a corner kick here instead of a goal kick. Jakovalivek again on the corner towards the back post. It just barely goes past the leg of Leonardo Harrow and is deflected out the other side. So we've got another corner kick, this time from the near corner with just under 3 minutes to play in the first half. Jakovalivek took the last one. This time it's Sergio Perez. Perez goes short. Santos Contreras, one touch, loses the ball. He was trying to control it. May have been better off taking a shot there, but he does get it back. So the Saints aren't cooked yet on this chance. Now they are. Cleared by St. Ambrose. Fabian Alvarado steps up on defense. As a whistle blows, Santos Contreras got tangled up there with, I think, Enchundia down there. But the foul is called on Contreras. And Chundia is still down, clutching his face, although that might just be in frustration. I'm not sure that's where the actual pain is. The clock is stopped at 2 minutes 28 seconds. He's okay. It's actually Reynoso down there who was shaken up, not Enchundia. But he is okay.
No, I think they just gave it a warning.
Official has a quick talk with Santos Contreras. And once we're ready to go again, it'll be a St. Ambrose free kick from the defensive end. Free kick is set up by Mulvihill. The junior Mulvihill sends it away. Headed back towards the net. Reynoso takes a shot and scores. St. Ambrose takes a 2-0 lead on the goal from Daniel Reynoso. All set up on the other end when Reynoso took the foul and led to the free kick.
Maybe I'll put it in the comments. It was off a deflection.
Free kick was taken by Mulvihill, sent it downfield, and one touch after that free kick deflected off towards Reynoso on the left side of the net, and Reynoso was able to fire one in past Carlos Ferrer-Cotto to the right side. Beautiful shot for Daniel Reynoso. It's 2-0 St. Ambrose with just over 2 minutes to play in the first half. Downfield, headed away for Reynoso. That is team leading goal number 6 for the season.
The light switch, where is it?
Rory Hannon scored the first goal tonight, his second of the year. That came in the 22nd minute. This one in the 43rd. And it makes it 2-0 St. Ambrose, and a healthy lead for the team that has struggled to get ahead of teams this year. It's worth noting they have scored 2 goals in back-to-back games. They've lost both of those. So this is a long way from over. Saints try to take possession here. Morgan McKenzie battles with Spencer Pyle, but St. Ambrose is able to take over. We do have under a minute to play in the half, so Saints for a long time were looking for the equalizer. Now they just want to get on the board before halftime. But St. Ambrose is taking their time as Anchundia tosses it in. Headed back off of Leonardo Haro, and Reynoso will get the throw in this time. Reynoso, the senior from Ecuador, scored the goal just about 2 minutes ago. St. Ambrose looking for another one now. Reynoso from way out there, saved by Carlos Veracotto. Another good shot, though, from Reynoso, who has put the pressure on lately. Bounced ahead to Amin Mizyed. Mizyed looks out in front of him. Finds Cortez. He's tripped up, no whistle. Saints continue play with under 10 seconds to go in the first half. They're not able to get the ball in close. And so the half will come to an end. And it is 2-0 St. Ambrose, as St. Ambrose goes back towards their sideline feeling pretty good about the way the first 45 minutes went down. Goals from Hannon and from Reynoso, and the Saints are searching for answers right now as they try to finish up their conference season with a win. They need at least 3 goals in order to do that now, and only 45 minutes with which to do them. Dan Cross will try to get them ready for the second half, and we'll take a break as you get ready for the second half. I'll be back in a bit, so don't go anywhere, because 15 minutes from now we will have the start of the second half of play. For right now, 2-0. St. Ambrose has the lead, and it's halftime here in Joliet. Halftime in Joliet set to end, and we're ready to begin the second half. St. Francis against St. Ambrose in today's regular season finale for the Fighting Saints. Terry Bonadonna with you for another 45 minutes of soccer action. And the first 45 minutes went decisively the way of the visitors. 2-0. St. Ambrose has the lead. They have switched sides. St. Ambrose in their blue jersey tops going from left to right. St. Francis white on white going from right to left. Santos Contreras heads it away for the Fighting Saints as we begin half number 2. St. Ambrose scored their goals spaced out in the first half. In the 21st minute, Rory Hannon scored his second of the year, assisted by Justin Tackett. And they held that 1-0 lead for a while, but in the 43rd minute, Daniel Reynoso, off a deflection following a free kick from all the way downfield, gave St. Ambrose a 2-0 lead. Daniel Reynoso had quite the half. Not only did he score a goal, he took 6 total shots. 4 of them went on goal. St. Francis only had 3 shots on goal in total. St. Ambrose had 5. St. Francis, had 4 total shots on goal. St. Ambrose had 5. 11 total shots for the Fighting Saints to 10 for the Fighting Bees. So it's not as though it was a lopsided half, really. It was very evenly played, but the 2 best chances both belonged to St. Ambrose, and they capitalized on both of them. One more goal from the Fighting Bees would go a long way towards putting this away. So St. Francis not only needs to attack here, they need to be very careful about what they allow going the other way as the Fighting Saints get a throw-in from the far side of the field. Headed up in the air by the Bees, and St. Ambrose able to clear it there as they race out across midfield, kicked out of bounds, and the throw-in here belongs to the Fighting Saints. Jorge Navas tosses it in, and it's kicked back towards Carlos Ferrer-Cotto. The ball's outside the box. He has to control it off his chest and kick it away, not able to pick it up and punt it. But he got some good distance on that, set up the attack. There's a good stop by the St. Ambrose defense. Malik Rashid working against Justin Tackett for the ball, and Tackett touches it out of bounds. So Rashid wins that battle, and the throw-in right now belongs to the Fighting Saints at the midfield stripe. A little bit over 2 minutes into the second half. 2-0 was our halftime score. It's our score right now. Hunter Foose sends it forward towards Santos Contreras and drifts a little bit too far out in front of Contreras and out of bounds along the sideline. Tossed in by Nathan Lukasik under the foot of Santos Contreras, controlled by Reynoso. Reynoso sends it behind him, looking for Hannon. Can't find Hannon. Instead, Leonardo Harrow steps in. Taps it back to his goalkeeper, Carlos Ferrer-Cotto. Downfield, along the sideline, and out of bounds. A throw-in for the team in blue. It's Jose Anchundia, one of 3 Ecuadorians on the team, along with Juan Diego, who we have not seen, and Daniel Reynoso, who we've seen probably too much from. Malik Rashid is going to get a free kick here. Good chance for the Saints to try to push it into dangerous territory for St. Ambrose. The ball sent into the box, headed by Mizyed, knocked up into the air by Lukasik towards the back line. Stays in bounds, controlled along the sideline by St. Francis, and lost on a loose ball, but Malik Rashid tracks it down. Rashid back to Sergio Perez, and they go back to the defensive line and start to make their way forward again to Mizyed, and Mizyed can't reach it as the goalkeeper, Pier Carlos Ricosa, instead steps in and makes the play. I mentioned all the Ecuadorians on this team. They've got a player from Brazil, England, New Zealand. So there is definitely an international flavor to St. Ambrose. But I'd have to say, just looking at the names, if you told me that there were 7 players on the team from outside the United States, and I actually got it wrong, sorry, there are 4 players from Ecuador. I did not include Ricky Rueda. It goes back to the foot of Piercarlo Ricosa. But again, to finish that point, if you had told me there are 7 players on this team from outside the United States, and there are in fact 8 because I miscounted the word Ecuador. But if you had told me that just by looking at the names, I think Piercarlo Ricosa would have been one of my top guesses for players who are not from around here. But he is actually from South Elgin, Illinois. Piercarlo Ricosa to me sounds like he just flew in from Italy yesterday, but apparently not. Went to St. Charles North High School. Had it up in the air by Michael Petrosky between the legs of Santos Contreras and intercepted by Lukasic. Under 40 minutes to play. Still very early in this second half. Headed back into the box, and Carlos Ferracoto is there to pick it up. Dangerous territory. Daniel Reynoso was making a run at that ball again. It very nearly got to Reynoso, or I should say Reynoso nearly got to the ball before it reached the box, which meant that if he had, he would have been able to try to put a shot past Carlos Ferracoto, who would not have been able to challenge him with his hands because he was not yet in a position where he could pick the ball up. Throw in from Lukasic, controlled by Tackett. Tackett backing in on Navas, turns it around and pushes upfield. Here's Reynoso. Reynoso at the edge of the box against Leonardo Haro. Sends it forward, deflected back, and a shot is sent out of bounds by Carlos Ferracoto. Blake Beery on the shot, and a good-looking one. But Ferracoto is able to parry it away as it goes out the back line. We've got a corner kick here. Justin Tackett, the freshman, sets the ball up for the corner kick. Tackett sends it right in front of the net, and it's booted away, cleared well out of bounds by Hunter Foose. Throw in here for Tackett. Again, that ball is knocked out near the corner, but it was along the sideline this time. Knocked towards the back post, a shot and a goal. Off the throw, and it's Spencer Pyle who puts it in and makes it 3-0 St. Ambrose. And the Fighting Bees are starting to run away here, a team that had been struggling. They had lost 4 consecutive games, and for the first time all year, they were starting to lose by lopsided figures. After they started the year 1-5, despite 4 of those 5 losses coming in overtime, and all 5 of them coming by 1 goal. Their record was much worse than their play had actually been. Over the last couple of weeks, suddenly they had started to get some lopsided results and make it look like maybe they saw the writing on the wall for this season. But today they are showing a resolute lack of quit, as they're starting to pull away to a 3-0 lead now. Goal scored by Spencer Pyle. It's his 4th this year, which is 2nd on the team, behind only Daniel Reynoso, who has also scored today. Nathan Lukasic picked up the assist, and for Lukasic, that's the first assist. It's the first point of the year. At midfield, it's St. Ambrose pushing ahead towards Rory Hannon. Good interception by Santos Contreras. Contreras tries to get it ahead to Morgan McKenzie, but Lukasic beats McKenzie to the ball. Towards the sideline, Contreras tries to beat Hannon to it, and does, but Contreras pushes it forward and out of bounds. 53rd minute goal for Spencer Pyle. Made it 3-0. Here's Tackett. Tackett got fouled from behind by Jorge Navas, who got a little too handsy. And a free kick here for the Fighting Bees. Noah Secor has it set up, or he starts to set it up. Whistle blows, and he's told to back up a few paces. Here's Secor's ball sent in towards the front of the net, and it's stopped by Carlos Ferrer-Cotto, who jumps in and plucks that ball out of the air. Nice play by Carlos Ferrer-Cotto making the save. Tackett gets by Malik Rashid. Leonardo Harrow steps in defensively, knocks it away. That ball sent along the sideline. McKenzie tries to catch up to it, but can't. Knocked out of bounds by Jacob Mulvihill. Throw in for the Fighting Saints with 35 minutes to go. And Chundia pushes it downfield. There's a good ball ahead for Santos Contreras. Contreras racing against Ricosa, and Ricosa gets there first. Piercarlo Ricosa, nice job stepping up and making that play. Rolled ahead for Reynoso. Reynoso back to Hannon. And Hannon gives it right back to Reynoso. Working against Harrow, and Harrow is called for the foul. Daniel Reynoso earns the free kick for St. Ambrose. Here's Noah Secor on the free kick. Secor drills it into the box, tapped away towards the back line, and Carlos Ferrer-Cotto chases it down. Well, I've talked a lot about St. Ambrose's offense today and the way that they've really been able to get going after they had struggled mightily over the last several weeks. St. Francis's defense, surprisingly, having some trouble today as they've allowed the 3 goals. That ball out for a goal kick. Last time that the Fighting Saints gave up as many as 3 goals in a game, you have to go all the way back to March 13th, nearly a month ago. That was 7 games ago. This is only the second time, make that the third time now this year, that they have allowed as many as 3 goals in a game. First time they've done it here at home. And that does include their October match as well, the one game they played in the fall before taking the hiatus and returning to play during the spring season. So all of the trends were directed away from a result like this. I shouldn't say result, long way to go before this one's final, but the way this game has trended so far has not been at all what was expected, which is not to say that nobody came in thinking that St. Ambrose could win or take a lead, but to do it quite this decisively has been, I think, beyond even what St. Ambrose fans would have predicted. Just over 32 minutes remaining in the game as Secor is able to hold off Santos Contreras and let that ball go out of bounds for a goal kick. First time this year that the Bees have scored 3 in a game. They had scored 2 goals on 5 prior occasions. 5 of their 11 games they had scored 2. But this is the first time with 3. Long run along the far sideline. Working towards the net and drilled right into the hands of Carlos Ferrer-Cotto. Ferrer-Cotto fires it out to McKenzie. Right side of the field. It's Cortez. Sergio Perez ahead for Amin Mizyed. Mizyed working one-on-one with the defender. Now the rest of the defense steps in. He fires the shot anyway, and a nice diving save made by Piercarlo Ricosa. Good setup by Amin Mizyed, making something happen for a team that has not had much of an offensive rhythm today. Amin Mizyed was able to just dribble around a couple of defenders, fire one off, and Rakosa just happened to make a very nice save on it. Kicked out of bounds by Hunter Foose. Throw in for St. Ambrose. Looking for their first win against St. Francis in 4 years. Still one more game on the schedule for the Fighting Bees. They'll return home this weekend and they'll play Judson on Saturday afternoon. Today's the end of the regular season for St. Francis. Free kick for Secor after the St. Francis foul. 30 minutes to play. Secor sends it past the head of one teammate and off the foot of another. And Hannon's deflection towards the net is saved by Carlos Ferrer-Cotto. Here comes Santos Contreras. Contreras rolls it off of the foot of Secor. Secor pushes it back into the box the other way. Navas sends that ball forward, looking for Amin Mizyed. Mizyed was offsides. Still, St. Francis just not able to get any momentum going forward. For as evenly played as much of the first half was, Saints went into halftime down 2-0, and now here in the second half, St. Ambrose has had the better chances consistently, although that's the way that much of the first half was as well, at least for the first half of it. St. Ambrose seemed to be pushing and pushing and pushing. Then they finally broke through. Once they did, and they took the 1-0 lead, St. Francis took the momentum. They just weren't able to capitalize on it as they never got one in the goal. Malik Rashid heads it forward into the box to Mizyed, and Mizyed not able to get to it. Good defense by St. Ambrose. And the Bees knock it out of bounds. Navas's throw-in is deflected back in his direction. Reynoso working against Navas for that ball, and Reynoso wins it, tapping off to Blake Beery. There's Spencer Pyle, who scored a goal earlier today. Taken away from him. Sergio Perez. Perez, nice ball to McKenzie, and good control by McKenzie. McKenzie splits the defenders, but runs into the third man up and has it taken away. Lukasic, fresh off of his tackle, gives it up to Hannon. Hannon from long range, way wide to the left, drifting towards the corner, and that's out for a throw-in. Or did that hit the back line? I guess it did hit the back line. So it's not a throw-in, it's a goal kick. No, apparently not. It is a throw-in. So Carlos Ferrer-Cotto a little frustrated. He wanted the goal kick there. Wanted a chance to reverse field position quickly. Instead, Saints will try to work it down the other way. Foose pushes it towards midfield. Knocked away from him out of bounds. Mulvihill touched it last. 26:40 to play. Second half, big lead for St. Ambrose, and they're looking to add to it. Here's Tackett. Tackett forced off the ball. Good defense by Jorge Navas. Sergio Perez. Pulls it out to Santos Contreras. Here's Mizyed. Mizyed. Gets the ball ahead to Diego Cortez. Saints lose it. Get it right back. Rashid. Back to Harrow. And Harrow reverses field, moving off to his right. Jorge Navas gets it across to Sergio Perez. Perez trying to make something happen. Gets it into the box and nobody there. So that shot rolls harmlessly into the hands of Ricosa. Still a long way to go in this game. Over 25 minutes, but St. Francis has not had much going forward here. They've not been able to challenge Ricosa so far in this second half. Just one good-looking shot on goal. It came from Amin Mizyet. And Yakovalevic come back in. They're also bringing in Oscar Leon and Thiago Bandera. Santos Contreras, nice ball, touches it ahead. Here's Oscar Leon. Take that back, Thiago Bandera. And he loses it, cleared quickly by St. Ambrose. Long run to chase that ball down, and Harrow gets there before Jordan Seeley does. Saints try to move forward from the right side of the field. Fabian Alvarado rolls it off to Foose in the middle, and reversing field again all the way to the left side. Leonardo Harrow. Harrow sends it deep for Bandera, who apparently had stayed on sides, but ball a little bit too far out in front of him. And we've got a goal kick coming up for Piercarlo Ricosa.
I know this girl who, she was right place, right time. She was in grad school, and she was the GA at, it was one of those smaller schools down there somewhere.
Ricosa with the gray goalkeeper's uniform and the red gloves. Kicks it off to midfield. Headed back by St. Ambrose. Hunter Foose steps up, pushes forward for the Fighting Saints.
But it's like one of these small schools that
Yakovalevic knocks it down towards Bandera. Long run for Thiago Bandera. He does not get there. Noah Secor able to seal the area off.
I gotta look. But this girl's like a freak athlete. Like, 'cause she went there.
Throw in coming up for St. Ambrose, leading 3-0. Trying to pick up their third win of the year. First two for St. Ambrose came way back in their first game of the season on the fall schedule. They beat a non-conference opponent 2-1 on October 17th. Cleared away by the Bees. Knocked up the field. They have one conference win, and it came on March 20th. They beat Calumet St. Joseph 1-0. That's the same team, of course, that St. Francis just took care of last week. A shutout for them as well. Man down for the Fighting Saints. Looks like Hunter Foose is hurt, and the clock stops with 19 minutes and 9 seconds remaining in the second half. So Foose will get a little bit of attention from the training staff. This side down by 3 goals late. St. Ambrose entered play today with a 4-game losing streak going. Their season long is 5. But they look pretty determined not to get there again. So Hunter Foose leaves.
13, I thought it was 10.
And I think Jorge Navas is the one coming back in for him. Navas was out for just the last couple of minutes, but he's back on the field now. And now the clock's moving again. Saints again acting urgently, knowing they don't have a lot of time to make this comeback. Amin Mizyet works his way inside, tackled off the ball. Contreras, good one over to Bandera, and Bandera is forced out of bounds by Lukasic. Lukasic, the last one to touch it. Here's Leonardo Harrow back to midfield. Isaac Avalos turns and gives it a big kick to the right side. Poked away by the Fighting Saints and cleared by Mulvihill. Kept in bounds. Controlled by Malik Rashid. Rashid crosses field looking for Contreras. Contreras can't get there, but he does force Noah Secor to kick it out of bounds. So a throw-in coming for the Fighting Saints. Oh, never mind. Throw-in coming for the Fighting Bees. So Secor did knock that ball off of Contreras. Thrown into Rashid, and Rashid kicks it right back out. This next throw belongs to Nathan Lukasic. Off the chest of Reynoso. Given back to Tackett, and the Saints get the takeaway. Contreras pushes forward to Amin Mizyed. Mizyed off to the right side. Ball into the box. Bandeta taps it off of Secor, and I think he was offsides first. Yeah, offsides is the call against St. Francis. And so St. Ambrose gets to clear it once again. Another nice job of halting a Fighting Saints attack by St. Ambrose, who has played well as a team all game today. They have looked much better than your standard 2-9 team. And I've spent plenty of time tonight talking about how statistically they are better than your standard 2-9 team, but they're not just looking better than 2-9. They look like they could be a 9-2 team the way they've played tonight. Jorge Navas sends it into the box, looking for Oscar Leon. Cleared by Anchundia. A shot from long range sails over the net and out of bounds for a goal kick. Substitution coming up for St. Ambrose. Rory Hannon is going to come back in. And Hannon comes in for Daniel Reynoso, who has played so well tonight, mostly in the first half. But those have been the two primary strikers today for St. Ambrose. Reynoso and Hannon. The latter, in this case, checks in for the former. Here's Yakovalic. Speaking of star strikers, Stefan Yakovalic scored 3 goals against Calumet St. Joseph on Saturday. In fact, he had 3 goals and an assist, 7 points in one game. Along the sideline, that's lost out of bounds. Fighting Saints throwing with 15:20 on the clock. Santos Contreras into the box, and we've got a handball on St. Francis. So a free chance for St. Ambrose to clear it out of here. Fighting Saints have not played poorly today by any means, but St. Ambrose has had a few more good chances. They've taken advantage of them. Stefan Yakovalic tries to get it through to Mizyed, and ball doesn't quite reach him. Well defended by St. Ambrose. Secor knocks it out. Mizyed tosses it into Navas. Where Navas' cross is intercepted. Going the other way is Spencer Pyle. Pyle ahead to Tackett, and a sliding stop by Isaac Avalos. Towards the sideline, out of bounds by St. Ambrose. Again, Fighting Saints aren't playing poorly, but they do find themselves on the short end right now. And with just 14 minutes to score 3 goals, they really have their backs up against the wall. Malik Rashid sends it off to the right side. Well defended by Anchundia as he knocks it away. St. Francis still in possession, but further back now. And now even further back as the ball is sent to the defensive line. It's Jorge Navas. Navas along the sideline. Knocked down by the chest of Rory Hannon. Hannon loses it to Thiago Bandeta. Wide to the right, well out of bounds on that shot. And another goal kick coming up for St. Ambrose. So credit to St. Francis since going down 3-0. They have undoubtedly recognized the situation and how quickly they need to play, how aggressive they need to be. They have been quick, they've been aggressive. But it hasn't mattered. They just haven't gotten the opportunities that they've needed. Morgan McKenzie is back in for St. Francis. Mariano Caturba makes his first appearance of the game. Harrow passes it back. Cleared by Carlos Veracotto. St. Ambrose made a substitution a moment ago as well. They brought in Aiden Bagley, freshman from Frankfurt. That one headed by Bagley, back to Hannon. Hannon loses the ball, well defended by the Fighting Saints, and Jorge Navas knocked it out of bounds.
He's on our like top 5 list for most saves, most minutes, shutouts.
So unlike St. Francis, who's in a hurry, St. Ambrose is content to take its time here on throw-ins like this, tack it, with the clock down under 12 minutes. Ball loose out in front of the net, headed by Bagley, and a foul is called on St. Ambrose. Saints restart play very quickly here. Going from right to left here, down the field. On the far side, ball is pushed forward. Caturba couldn't quite find Oscar Leon, who he was trying to get it to along that sideline. So it's out of bounds for a St. Ambrose throw-in. And Shundia goes deep with it, and it's knocked quickly out of bounds by Avalos. Isaac Avalos, 6'3" tall freshman. Tallest player on the roster for St. Francis. Next to their goalkeeper Carson Hegland, who has not appeared in a match this year. Hegland is listed at 6'4". Actually, I thought he had not appeared in a match. I just checked the stat sheet. Hegland has played all of 14 minutes this season. So Avalos is second in terms of height, but he's the tallest among any of the players on the field. Only a reserve goalkeeper is taller. I think that still counts for something. Santos Contreras is the last one to touch that as it goes out of bounds. Throw in here for St. Ambrose. Tackett knocks it back to his right. Keeps it alive. Tackett tackled by Caturba, and the foul is called on Justin Tackett. Saints again put the ball back in play in a hurry. We're under 10 minutes to play in the game. And Jorge Navas' ball to Santos Contreras doesn't find its target, goes out of bounds. Throw in for Nathan Lukasik. It's been a hit or miss offensive season for St. Francis this year. Seems surprising that they would score 4 goals in one game and then be on the verge of a shutout the next, although nearly had an opportunity right there. Ricoso was almost playing it a little bit too easy right there. Oscar Leon put some last-second pressure on him. And Ricosa did fall on the ball just before Leon got there. But their last 3 games, in fact, go back their last 4 games, including today, their goals scored 5, 0, 4, and so far 0. With 8:40 to play, they can still add on to that 0, but right now they're certainly not looking to be in good shape to put up a big goal scoring number. So, like I said, it's been inconsistent. They've had some big games and They've had some where they've really struggled. They have been shut out twice this year. So this would be the third if they're not able to put one in the back of the net over the next 8 minutes. Spencer Pyle is back in as Jordan Seeley heads out for St. Ambrose. Pyle is the one who scored the third goal for St. Ambrose. That third one is so big. Obviously, if the score ends up being 3-0, then you could say that the third goal didn't really mean much of anything. That the first one was the game winner. But it just changes the complexion of the game completely. Down 2 goals early in the second half, you feel like you're one good break away from making it a 1-goal game, and down by 1 goal. Any team that's got any confidence in their offense will feel like they've got a pretty good shot to make a comeback there. But as soon as it's 3, all of a sudden it seems like you're climbing a mountain, and the Saints have not been able to get over the summit. Or to it. I guess that's the first step before you could get over it. Santos Contreras checks out. Eric Vega is in for the first time tonight for St. Francis. Here's Leon. Back to Katurba. Mariano Katurba off to Avalos. Reversed field over to his left. This is Jorge Navas. He finds Morgan McKenzie. Good ball from McKenzie to Stefan Yakovalevic. He's trying to control it, set something up. Around a couple of defenders, the third one gets in his way and halts his progress. Yakovalevic down on the ground in the box. As a strong run from him ends prematurely. Now a run from Rory Hannon. Hannon, good ball. Good through ball to Aiden Bagley, but Bagley unable to do anything with it. Here's a good through ball to Hannon. Hannon, one touch around the defender. There's the cross, and he was looking for Bagley, but it was too far out in front of him. So a throw in on the far side for St. Francis. Under 6 minutes to play. Knocked away there by Harrow. Gives it off to Malik Rashid. Rashid turns upfield. Looking to his left. He's got Morgan McKenzie there. McKenzie does a nice job keeping it in bounds. McKenzie works his way around Mitchell Petrosky to his right along the far side. Stepping in, Jose Anchundia makes the stop. Amin Mizyad keeps the attack moving forward, but it's cleared now once again by St. Ambrose. To the back line, Fighting Saints push it into the hands of their goalkeeper, Carlos Ferrer-Cotto. Ferrer-Cotto rolls it out to Jorge Navas, and Navas starts the attack once again for the Fighting Saints. Good defense by Rory Hannon, the big striker, able to jump in and make the defensive play. Here's Avalos. Avalos and Leon play a little two-man game, taking their time as Malik Rashid is cleared up in the middle of the field. Rashid pushes it to his left. Jorge Navas. Navas down into the box. One bounce controlled by Katurba and cleared. Battle for the ball at the edge of the box, and this time won by St. Ambrose and pushed the other way. Leonardo Harrow in the circle. Off to the left. This is Morgan McKenzie. McKenzie turns it upfield. Working against Secor. McKenzie takes the shot. On the rebound, there's the goal. So the Saints avoid the shutout as Morgan McKenzie takes the shot. A beautiful save by Piercarlo Racosa, but he was not able to wrap it up. And Amin Mizyed came in on the rebound, and Mizyed put it in the back of the net. So there's one for St. Francis, and now they trail by 2, but only 4 minutes and 6 seconds remain, and that's exactly what I was talking about before as far as getting that third goal and how important that third goal is for St. Ambrose, because if it were 2-1 right now, all of a sudden, even with only 4 minutes left, it becomes I wouldn't say panic time for St. Ambrose, but time to start worrying because St. Francis keeps pushing down the field. A 1-goal lead would not be safe at all. A 2-goal lead, much more comfortable for the Fighting Bees. Punted across midfield. Here's Malik Rashid. Rolled off to the left. Jorge Navas. Intercepted by Lukasic. Eric Vega stepped in, knocked Lukasic off the ball. And there's Stefan Yakovalic. There's a ball into the box, headed away by Secor. It is loose at the edge of the box and knocked further downfield by St. Ambrose. Here's Malik Rashid once again. Rashid off to his right. Has Leon there. Long run to get to this ball. Down in the far corner, and it's lost out of bounds. It's a corner kick. 2:50 to play in this one. St. Francis scored their first goal to avoid the shutout just over a minute ago. Now they still need 2 more in desperation mode late. Sent into the front of the box, deflected, a shot, and knocked away by St. Ambrose. And the Fighting Saints calling for the handball. They don't get the call, but what we do get is to see another corner kick. But the Saints were furious there. You rarely see that many guys on the team all at once throwing up their hands and saying the same thing. That was a handball. They did not get the call.
I think it's 8 out there for corners, right?
And this corner kick sails out of bounds. A little bit behind the net from Malik Rashid, and we're down to our final 2 minutes. So Piercarlo Ricosa gets the goal kick, and as usual, he takes his time, running a few extra seconds off the clock as St. Ambrose tries to salt this one away. Both of the wins earlier this year for St. Ambrose were 1-goal victories. They beat University of Northwestern St. Paul 2-1 back in October, and then the 1-0 win over Calumet St. Joseph a couple of weeks ago. Here's another chance for St. Ambrose to get one final goal and a diving save by Carlos Ferrer Cotto. Nice save by the senior goalkeeper for St. Francis, and a big punt downfield. A little bit over the head of Amin Mizyed. Knocked off towards the sideline and out of bounds for a St. Francis throw-in. We're in our final minute of play. Yakovalic to McKenzie. Tap back to Leonardo Harrow. Harrow into the box, looking once again for Mizyed. A little bit past him. And into the hands of Ricosa on a bounce. Amin Mizyed scored the goal for the Fighting Saints. It was his 6th of the year. And it ties him with Zakhar Shkidchenko and Morgan McKenzie as the team's point leader. He's up to 16 points on the season. Leads the team with 7 assists. And I take that back. That was his 8th goal of the year. It still ties him 16 points as Mizyed looks to add some more right here into the box. I mean, Mizyed can't make a move around the defender. Knocked away. Jorge Navas on the back line with just 13 seconds on the clock now. Here's Morgan McKenzie. McKenzie works off to the right. Pass deflected. Time for one more shot for the Fighting Saints. Malik Rashid deflected away again. And that's how this one will end. 3-1, our final score. St. Francis falls to St. Ambrose in the regular season finale. And a really well-played game by the Bees of St. Ambrose. They came in to play today with a record of 2-9 overall, but they did not play like a 2-9 team, and frankly, they have not played like a 2-9 team for most of the year. 4 overtime losses, 7 1-goal defeats this year, and today they finally put everything all together against a good St. Francis team, and a St. Francis team that had been playing very well, winners of 3 of their last 4 games. And St. Ambrose just outplayed them for the majority of the contest today on their way to this 3-1 victory. They led by 2 at halftime. And in the second half, once they were down 3-0, St. Francis turned things around. They just started peppering St. Ambrose with opportunities and just weren't able to finish a lot of them off. They weren't all great opportunities as the Bees played strong defense throughout the game, but too little too late from the Fighting Saints as we take a quick look at the scoring recap from today's game. It started in the 21st minute. Rory Hannon, off an assist from Justin Tackett, headed it in for his second goal of the year and made it 1-0 St. Ambrose. Daniel Reynoso, late in the first half, 43rd minute of play, he was able to score off of a free kick deflection. Reynoso's sixth goal of the season made it 2-0 St. Ambrose going into halftime. Then early in the second half, St. Ambrose, I don't know if you could say they put it away with this goal, but they went a long way towards doing that. Their third goal of the game came from Spencer Pyle off an assist from Nathan Lukasik. Spencer Pyle scored his fourth goal of the year, and that made it 3-0 in favor of the Bees. And from that point on, it felt like a pretty comfortable advantage for St. Ambrose. The Saints pushed and pushed, and it did not end up making much of a difference for them until finally in the 86th minute, Morgan McKenzie turned towards the net, fired a shot. It was blocked by Rakosa, and on the rebound, Amin Mizyed was able to score his eighth goal of the season, and that tied Morgan McKenzie for the team lead with 8 goals. It tied McKenzie and Shkidchenko for the team lead with 16 points this year, but too little too late, as that was the only goal that the Saints were able to come up with. 19-17, that's what St. Ambrose outshot St. Francis by in the game. The Fighting Saints ended today's game with 7 shots on goal, and St. Ambrose finished with 12. 3 of them, obviously, went in the net. 9 saves for Carlos Ferrer-Cotto. With the win, 3-1, St. Ambrose picks up their third of the season. They snap a 4-game losing streak. They are now 3-9, 2-9 in conference. St. Francis falls to 7-5-2, 6-5-1 in the CCAC, with the conference tournament still to be played. But today wraps up the regular season for the Fighting Saints. As always, go to GoFightingSaints.com for future updates on the schedule, what the conference tournament and any postseason play will look like, and where you can find those games. So that's going to do it for today's broadcast. Thanks for tuning in. The Saints fall to St. Ambrose by a final score of 3-1. Until next time, this is Terry Bonadonna signing off for the University of St. Francis. Have a good night.